turn off the thing for a bit. So, I should listen to a little bit of Dougie Duvall video today. Was talking about Tua Tagovailoa and um, the soon-to-be decision that the organization is going to make on his behalf as to what's going to happen to him. But I want to do this live to talk about the possible destinations he can end up at, because for me it's disheartening to see how many people that claim to be supporters of him, or as they would say, that believed in him, all of a sudden now it's time to move on. We've seen enough. He's not it. Da da da. Fine, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with that. But it's disheartening to see people, say he's trash, he's garbage. It's like, bro. So because he had one bad year and all of a sudden he's garbage. And 2024 he got injured, so he played 13 games, I believe it was, and then he missed like four or five games, and he still put up 2,000 plus yards with nearly 20 touchdowns. I think, and it wasn't that many interceptions last year. I mean, it was not that many last 2024 was 2025. 2025, he finished with 2,660 yards, 20 touchdowns and 15 picks. His worst year statistically as a professional athlete. But again, this video or this live is about his possible destinations where he could go. Um, the biggest team I can think of right now is the Falcons, because they're in um, purgatory basically, because we don't know what Michael Penix is going to be, and I think with what they have offensively, it wouldn't hurt them to go get him. It also would make sense to basically either have him start or be a backup to. Now they're gonna release Kirk, so he could actually be a starter in Atlanta right away. He'll just be competing with the likes of Baker Mayfield, Tyler Shugnick, I think that's how you say his name. I might butcher it, and Bryce Young in the NFC South, which is a wide open division. It's not owned by nobody, so because Carolina won last year after Tampa Bay had won it for 4 or 5 years in a row. So Atlanta would be a perfect landing spot. Not only would it give him a fresh start, but it also allow him to reinvent himself. More than likely, they would get a home field game or home game in the playoffs, because Atlanta will be rocking and rolling in the A, and he would get a chance to ingratiate himself with a fan base that will actually love him no matter what. They talk shit about their Falcons, yes, but they still support their quarterback 100%. Win, lose, or draw, they support him. Um, they would they ride and die for Matt Ryan. He got into a Super Bowl. They were down with Kirk Cousins. They were down with Michael Penix, despite him being drafted so high and people questioned it. They still rode with him. So I can see Tua, going to Atlanta to help that franchise out, to get them. I know they'll make the playoffs. If they get him, they'll make the playoffs, because the defense is set. Their offense was the problem last season. Sometimes they couldn't score, and he's very consistent when he's given a clean pocket. He can also, from time to time, evade pressure and um, make the right throw that's needed. So plus it would be a dome team where he can avoid elemental games unless they play Philly or um, I don't yeah, Philly's the only team I can think of that's basically cold weather, because Detroit's a dome team. And Green Bay and Philly, two cold team places. If if he can, if he's in Atlanta, he's more than likely going to, help them get to realistically 11 wins, maybe 12. They have a home game, and I can see that crowd rocking and rolling to, probably make divisional round, and that'll be a pretty good, you know, first season in Atlanta for him if the Dolphins decide to move on. But I'll also say this: Miami has to start to think, who are you really gonna bring in as a quarterback that's gonna right away, basically fight for that starting quarterback job. You got Quinn Ewers, There's rumors about Malik Willis, which I'm like, with Malik, I mean, what ceiling is he gonna? What potential does he really bring behind a battered offensive line that's ridiculed with not so good players that are gonna be in front of him? People continue to show highlights when he was in Green Bay. When he was in Green Bay, their line was way more complete than damn Miami's. Look at Green Bay's offensive line. Look at their weapons around him. Look at everything he had in Green Bay. Now put his stupid ass in Miami and watch how that shit fall apart. His numbers gonna look nothing like they did in Green Bay. But fan base, the fans are blinded by the hope. So you gotta face reality of what it is. Unless unless John Eric Sullivan goes out there and draft gold, gems throughout the draft, receiver, a tight end, offensive lineman, defensive players, we're not gonna be that much further ahead next season. But you got to retain some of the pieces you had, and then train them harder for what's going to be a grueling season. Although I've heard the rumor that we're going to have an easier schedule, which means Miami should win. Realistically, we should win 13 games next season if our schedule is going to be so easy. But we got to see about health, stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But um, our GM got to make a decision. You know, if he does let go of Tua, then again, I would say Miami. I would say Arizona's another good team that's vying for a quarterback because Kyler Murray don't want to be there no more, and they're tired of him. It's in a competitive division now. He got the Rams, he got the 49ers, and he has the Seahawks. So he's gonna be in the dog eat dog conference. But I think that he can do it because Arizona's young, but they're also very, very, very competitive. They don't get blowed out like they once did. So, I mean, that'd be another nice team for him to join right off the clip. Then you have, they said the Jets, but that would be purgatory. That's like sending that man to hell itself. Could he do anything in New York? Yes, but I mean, let's be real here. The New York Jets ain't gonna win more than 3 games, maybe 4. So why would you do that to him? Another team I could think of is the Colts, because they mentioned Indianapolis. They're set to go. The only thing they have is the quarterback issue, but they're set to go compete immediately. So if the Dolphins want to pull the trigger, you send him. If you send him to Indy, yeah, it's gonna be with Jason with Jonathan Taylor, with Pierre, not Pierre, but how you say that man's name? Pittman, Michael Pittman Jr. with the tight end Tyler Warren, with their defense, with the offensive line, with their um, receivers they do have, and the way that team is constructed, and the fact that the AFC South is so weak. The only competition they have is Houston. I mean, yeah, you can say Jacksonville now. They're imminent threat, but we know Jacksonville falls apart if Houston doesn't win. So I would say that it would be Atlanta, Indy, and possibly Arizona, but Atlanta and Indy for sure. Those 2 destinations would be ideal because for one, it would allow him to showcase his skills on a broader level. 2, he can get a fan base that actually believes in him. Because let's be real here, Miami stopped believing in him after 2023. After that season, when actually they stopped believing in him after 2022. 2023, they got back on the bandwagon. 2024, they completely fell off of it. But they have to understand the circumstances behind 2024. A lot of stuff did not go right. A lot of stuff. But they wanted to blame the quarterback only. Right? Then last season, yeah, he fell off the cliff. His play was dog shit. He can admit that, which I'm pretty sure he says it every day to himself. But to see it now like the man is like complete trash is just an hypocrisy. To me, he could do better at a different destination. But with his contract and stuff like that, that's the biggest thing. And again, like people said, who'll be willing to take it on? I think he would be a good competition quarterback to go against. And the teams that need quarterback, he can he can start you off in the season. he probably can get you to 5, 6-0. Who knows? He gets you there. Hey, whenever your starter comes back, he can roll to the backup role, which I would hate for him. But I want to see him like be able to compete. I want to see him. But with the current circumstances and stuff like that, I think that he deserves an opportunity to compete. He deserves a chance to go out there in training camp and go against whoever they have. They may put 4 quarterbacks on their roster, but he deserves an opportunity to fight for that starting spot. The offense still pretty much vibes with him. Even though Quinn Ewers did a okay job as a rookie, he's gonna get his reps and rightfully so. But let's be real here. We all know who was the man in that locker room. The problem that he had was that sometimes his mouth ran further than his actions did, which in a lot of cases didn't pan out well for him. And sometimes, like the other guy said, sometimes he can talk, but he should learn how to stop talking because the reporters asked him a question. He answered very honestly, and a lot of people don't like that. But it's like, what do you want him to say? You want him to say he's trash? You want him to say he's better than such and such a person? He's not a better athlete than most of these quarterbacks. No, but if you give him a pocket to throw inside of, he can beat 99% of the teams that he goes against. The problem that they have is that the line they have is built for a only mobile quarterback, like a Lamar Jackson, like a Josh Allen. But let's be real here. This is something that most quarterbacks in the league now are figuring out. Even the mobility part is fading away because a lot of guys are getting hurt. So if you keep injuring guys that are dual threats, what will you be left with? A Tom Brady. No, I got pee. Okay. So at what point do you stop and realize and tell yourself, it's okay to have a pocket passer. It's okay for that. Because when Tom Brady was out there slinging the rock, nobody said how boring it was. All they cared about was him winning championships. And how did he do that? Dink and dunk approach till he finally broke open the defense. So I don't know why it got to the point where people now want these big explosive plays every single drop back when that shit don't even happen in pickup football, much less in real football. But again, I mean, for me, he has to go. He has to go to work out with the trainer that he had before. That's gonna get him back where he needs to get. Because right now he's not himself, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fan base. I think a lot of that they've done over the years, all the damage they've done, all the stuff that's been said about him has taken its toll. And that's why he made the comment that it'd be dope to have a fresh start because only only a quarterback gonna take so much, especially when you know you give everything to the sport you love. When you out there getting your ass, you had to be getting your body beat up, and people are telling you how trash you are and how you suck and this that, and the third, and you're the one out there taking all that treatment with the ice bath, the early morning, training sessions to get your body right, to get out there and practice or whatever the case may be, film studies, group meetings, stuff like that. That stuff takes a toll on you because you start to tell yourself, well, I mean, what the hell do they know? Like, they should come out here and do this since they can read so good on a damn with a clicker in their hand, and again with the Cam Newton thing. He wasn't directly talking to Cam Newton, but he heard what the man was saying. It's like, yeah, you're an MVP quarterback, yes, but we all know what your name was attached to, and it's not going anywhere. You were a phenomenal athletic quarterback. But once some guys start putting your body through pain and you can no longer do it, what happened? All of the shit faded away, right? You never had accuracy as a quarterback, but you had arm strength. All that stuff faded once your body started to take that beating. You could no longer recover. So now you're just a podcaster who's he's got great points, great analytic um, talking points, but he also has to understand like you were an athletic quarterback. That's what you built your game around was flash, not substance. It didn't sustain itself. It got to a Super Bowl, but after that, how much longer did you really last? So it's like I mean, and then when he said something, you automatically got in your feelings about it and decided to go out there for what he said. When you look at the bigger picture, he was never an athletic quarterback. Not in college, too. It wasn't. He was just a monster at delivering football. Something that you never was. A lot of guys can't deliver the ball the way he can. A lot of guys have better arm strength than he does. But arm strength isn't everything in the game of football. It just isn't. Because Tom Brady himself didn't have the biggest arm. Peyton Manning didn't. But they had pinpoint accuracy when they could get that ball to where it had to be at. And they made countless smart plays to keep drives going, to score points, to keep their defense fresh. So when the time came, they could do what they had to do to win the game, to help them win the game. So I don't know when this became such a downtrodden thing to beat him up because of what he says, as if other guys haven't said it before him. But because he said he's a lefty, he's probably the only lefty in the league. Well, now he's not. Michael Penix is also another lefty, but he's basically one of a kind the way he throws the ball in the league. And because he talks the way he talks, people get offended. Don't make no sense. But yes, I think that he should, go to Atlanta if they're willing to do it. Go to Arizona. Hell, for 1 year he can go to the Rams. He could sit behind Matthew Stafford for a year, and they can hand the rings over to him 2027, and he could take the Rams because they'll still be a complete team. They're not going anywhere. They can still go with him to possibly the Super Bowl. Because Matt Stafford said he wanted one more try at it, but if he don't get it, hey, you could. He's 37. You can get a 29-year-old to a Tagovailoa, pair him with Sean McVay, and they could tear up the NFC West, and they could also basically tear up the league for maybe 3 to 5 years. They won't win multiple Super Bowls, but hell, they win one and make it the playoffs multiple times. That's a very successful um, resume, in my opinion. If he makes the playoffs and wins the Super Bowl with the Rams, and he makes the playoffs multiple times after that, like we're talking about divisional round, NFC Championship game appearances, very successful. There's nothing else you can say about him because he did what Miami would fail to do. Miami couldn't make that right, but they want to blame him. Everything is not on him. Most of the stuff was an organization problem. You gotta be able to build a football team. It ain't no damn such thing as, oh, we'll pick this person here, this person here, this person there. Now go out there and figure it out. No, because we all saw for the last 6 years what that line looked like. And in his best statistical year, he still had under 2 seconds to throw the ball. That's bullshit. So imagine if he was given the opportunity behind the Patriots line, or Tampa Bay, or the Rams. Hell, the 49ers line is way better than Miami's. The Eagles, Dallas, when they were healthy, had a better line. So imagine what he could do if he could stand back there for 45 seconds, like I seen most quarterbacks do in the league. Stand back there and survey that field. Imagine what he could do with the football. But he has to take one step back, one step, look, let it go. One step. He don't get to do this. He has to do this. One step and just turn his body. Because he has no other option but to do that. Doesn't make any sense. But again, I digress. I just feel like he should, you know, be given a fair shake to go elsewhere. If Miami, if Jeff Halfley and company want to go in a different direction, that's fine. But they should find a possible suitor to give him an opportunity to compete and compete right away. That's just my honest opinion. So, with that being said, guys, I gotta finish the dinner up. But I'll probably make a video, if not tomorrow, then probably Sunday. And I'll, you know, I'll talk to you guys more in depth about things. But I gotta get out of here, man. Peace.